Okay, I am back. I know I said that I was going to get back to my regular Sunday routine, but you know, the whole trip to Poland threw everything off. But I'm back here today. I'm throwing it down on Sundays here going forward. I am calling it, and I've got something special for you today. Today we're going to do some advanced FPV maneuvering. This is one of my favorite things to show people, is just how to decouple what it is that you're looking at from the maneuvers that you're doing with your quad. And we're going to do that by showing you that there are 4 maneuvers that are all the exact same thing: flying around a point, orbiting a point, flying backwards around a point, and doing a trippy spin. And we're going to do it all in one battery. So let's go. What I want you to think about is, what is the quad doing when you're doing a maneuver? Now, in this case, we're going to start by flying around an object. Now, if you are doing a straight turn around an object, you're in this forward flight, right? As you go, you start to bank to pull yourself around the turn, and now we yaw as we come around. And if we fly around the same point, we're basically looking forward, flying around it, changing our thrust vector so that it pulls us around the object, and then yawing to continually look forward. Well, how does that look when we're orbiting? Now, if we're orbiting, we're doing this. We're looking at the object. There's gonna be some bank to it, and we're gonna slowly pull ourselves around the object. It is actually the exact same maneuver. We've just changed the direction we're looking at. And I'm gonna show you today how it's the same when we fly backwards. If you're flying backwards around the object, you're doing the same thing. If you do a trippy spin and look at the top of it, you're doing the same maneuver, but it's just changing the direction that you're looking at. So I'm gonna do one maneuver where I'm gonna start flying around an object. I'm gonna transition that to an orbit, then I'm gonna transition that to flying backwards around it, and then I'm gonna yaw another 90 degrees, and I'm gonna be doing a trippy spin. Now, the one thing that is gonna change as you do this is gonna be your roll input. If you've ever noticed, when you're doing a normal coordinated turn, you input both roll and yaw in the same direction. So if you're going to the left, you give it left roll and left yaw, and we go around the maneuver. If you're going to the right, it's right bank and right yaw in order to go around it. Now, if you are doing an orbit, it's also both in the same direction, right? So in that case, if we're going around in a clockwise direction, we would be giving it left yaw and left roll. Now, the interesting thing as you transition through all 4 of these types of an orbit, let's call it, is that your yaw is gonna stay the same. It doesn't matter which direction I'm looking. If I'm going around the obstacle in a counterclockwise rotation, I'm always gonna be yawing at the left in order to maintain the same orientation around the object. If I'm going around it in a clockwise rotation, then I am always gonna be yawing to the right. Now, what will change is your roll. Think about it like this. If we are going around the object in forward flight, so you start out beside of it, right? We're going forward. As we come around, we're gonna yaw, but I'm only gonna change the yaw axis. So the quad moves to this position, right? But we've now yawed so that we're looking. But it doesn't yaw like this, it only moves on the yaw axis. So if I only put in a yaw, then I would need to give it left roll as well to be in the same, and a little bit of nose down, and in order to stay in the same orientation, right? Now, the same thing holds true if I'm doing an orbit. So if I'm doing an orbit, it looks like this. Well, actually, it looks a little bit more like this, but we come around and we put it into this position. Now, if all I did was yaw, I'm gonna also need a little bit of left roll and a little bit of nose down, right? But now here's where it gets interesting. If I'm going backwards, so we're flying like this, and now we move to this position, we're gonna yaw to the left, but we need to actually roll the aircraft to the right in order to maintain relative orientation. Now, you're gonna be making pitch changes as well, but in these maneuvers, I tend to think of pitch as more reactive, and I try to focus on centering up a position with the roll and the yaw. Now, in order to do a trippy spin, let's think about this one while we're on the subject. We start in this position, drone moves to here, we've now yawed around in order to be into, keep the tail in, we need right roll. So when you're flying a circle around an obstacle, you're using left roll and left yaw when you are flying around it in a counterclockwise rotation. If you are orbiting it, you're using left roll and left yaw. If you are flying backwards around it, you would be using left yaw and right roll. If you're doing a trippy spin, it is now left yaw and right roll. So now I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna show you all 4 in one quick pack. Now that we've looked and thought about what's happening with the drone in space as we're doing it, I'm gonna show you real quick me going through all 4 positions all at once and with the stick cam. So let's do it. This is what happens when you don't have a chest mount. Just saying. All right, you get to fly with a crooked radio. Okay, that's actually gonna be better for my video anyways. All right, let me just fly around a second to get used to this. All right, not too bad, not too bad. I think I definitely have a problem with this video antenna, but we're not gonna call off the mission. We're gonna send it, okay. Ooh, that was a little video jitter. Okay, I would say it's clear over there. Let's do it. All right, so I'm gonna enter the maneuver to orbit this water tower, right? We got a bit of a wind today, so it's gonna be a little bit different. But right here, all right, so I'm flying a circle around it. Now I'm trying to keep, I'm gonna have to put some DVR on here too. I'm trying to keep my, the object just in the left frame, even if I'm looking at the base of it. The wind is blowing me out on one side, cutting me close on the other, but you can see both left roll and left yaw. Let's tighten it up and do it as an orbit now. So we're still in that left roll and left yaw, right? Now I'm gonna transition it in and start flying backwards around it. Oops, we're doing a bit of a climb. So going backwards around it, I'm having to give it a little bit of right roll. Oh gosh. Wind is serious. Luckily I can see the bulb at the top to keep me flying backwards around it clean. And then let's transition this to a trippy spin. And it's more pronounced. And trying to keep it in. Okay, that was a sloppy freaking trippy spin. All right, let's go through the whole 4 again. One last time. I think I got enough in this battery. Start flying forward around it. Oh gosh, blown out on that side. Transition to an orbit. See on the top of the tower. Transition to backwards flying. And then transition to a trippy spin. And then give it a nice exit. And bring it back home. And that is advanced FPV maneuvering. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope that you were able to learn something about flying FPV. I like to go back and break things down and think about where the thrust that I'm generating is pulling me, because FPV is all about momentum and acceleration. We have a little thrust vector that we're flying through the sky, and I can decide to accelerate this way or that way. And the only thing that matters at the end of the day is which direction I'm pointing that thrust and how much thrust I'm giving it. So I hope that this has helped you, and if it has, please hit that like button. Let me know in the comments. Let me know what maneuvers you'd like me to break down for you guys next. All right, we will catch you next time. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit all the things, and I'll be back with another one of these videos next Sunday. You guys have a great week. All right, bye.